If you want to become a better runner, these are the 13 essential exercises for your legs that you need to be doing. Hey there, welcome to the Criticalbench channel. I'm Coach Brian Klepacki, one of the coaches here. I'm a strength coach, I'm a triathlon coach, and I love the sport or the hobby of running, but I also love strength training. And if you're a runner, you have to be strength training, not just doing like some basic exercises. You need to be doing something that is going to actually get you to become a better runner. So these are the 13 essential leg strengthening exercises that every runner, whether you're a beginner or the most advanced runner, these are the exercises for you. And now through these 13 exercises, you're going to see a lot of different exercises that you might not be familiar with. That's okay. Take your time becoming familiar with these exercises and then go into the gym or go at home and start working through these exercises on your own. And as always, we welcome comments or questions. So underneath this video, just post your comment or a question if you've got one for me on this particular topic. In no particular order, however, this first exercise is my personal favorite. It's a lower body exercise. It's called the hip thrust. If you've been on our channel long enough, you know that we love the hip thrust. We love training our glutes. This is the #1 glute training exercise. And if you're not familiar with our channel, now would be a good time to subscribe to our channel and also click that notification bell so you get an alert every time we upload a video. So the hip thrust. We've done numerous videos on this particular exercise. Now real quick before I show you the move, you see I have a dumbbell in my hands. Strength training requires resistance. Yes, you can increase your strength through body weight movements, but you're going to get the most bang for your buck if you hold some sort of resistance. Dumbbell, weight plate, med ball. You can even hold a bag of sugar in your lap. Don't eat it because sugar's not, you get that idea. So hip thrust right here. Head and shoulders, or excuse me, head is up, shoulders back on the bench. Tucking my tailbone back a little bit. Getting the dumbbell right on my lap, feet hip width apart, down, and then up. My eyes are always fixed on the horizon, even as I lower my hips down and back up. This is the best glute exercise that you can possibly do. It's great for your lower quads as well, a little bit of your hamstrings. Squeeze the glute to the top. That's your #1 exercise in these 13 essentials. Transition into a single leg hip thrust is your second exercise. Now, as a runner, you're rarely standing on 2 feet at the same time, unless you're, standing still, obviously. But when you're running, it's a bilateral movement, so that means one leg, or excuse me, a unilateral movement, not bilateral, unilateral movement, so you're only moving one limb at a time. Yeah, there's going to be someone out there that's going to say, hey, coach, well, depending on your stride length or stride frequency, there might be 2 legs on the ground at once. Yeah, but the positioning of your foot and also of your leg is going to be much different than if you would just be planted flat on 2 feet. So you need to be training unilaterally, right leg, left leg, just because that's how running is. So you just have to be training that way. Now, that's not to be said that you can't train bilaterally, which is also important for just true strength. But you get the idea of that. So now we're moving into the deadlift. You can hold the deadlift position, you can perform the deadlift position many different ways. But for the sake of this video, we're just doing traditional deadlift. We're not doing sumo. We're not doing a stiff leg. We're just doing a traditional deadlift. You can hold the dumbbell right here. You can put a barbell in your hands. You can hold it like this. You can use a kettlebell. What you need to do, point your toes slightly out a little bit, shoulder blades pulled back, and all you're doing is bending the knees, sticking that butt out, lowering that weight down to the floor, and stand back up. So this is a great, I call it a total body, but it's definitely going to target the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, and that's all important to strengthening those legs. Now, if you want more information on how to deadlift, all deadlift variations, now would be a good time again. Hit that subscribe button to check out the rest of our videos on our channel. But the deadlift is a complicated movement, and I want you to perform it perfectly. So make sure you study what I'm doing right here, but also check out the videos where we break down the deadlift in much greater detail. So that's your deadlift on 2 feet. Now we're going to go to a single leg deadlift. One weight, 1 foot, whatever leg is down, opposite hand holds that weight. So my left foot is down on the floor, right hand has the dumbbell. I'm going to Balance on the opposite leg, this supportive leg, the knee is slightly bent. Now you're going to pivot, you're going to hinge at the waist, lean down, stand back up. Take your time, keep your chin tucked into your chest. Nice, slow and controlled. I'll show you from the side here. Done slow and controlled. So as you see, most of the movement is coming from the hip. Trying to stabilize this leg, and obviously you would do the same thing on the other side. Slow and controlled. Perfect. Okay, let's move into a squat. Whether it's a dumbbell you're holding, a med ball, a barbell on your back, or even a front squat. Squat is very similar to the deadlift. Let me get out of the bench here in a second. So you can hold it at the chest. You can even put the 2 dumbbells on your shoulders, however you want to do it. We're doing a squat. Same principle applies. Bend the knees, butt goes out, chest stays up, squat down, stand back up. Okay. Very simple exercise. Always keep that chest up, shoulder blades pulled back. Now, I want you to ditch the weight, and we're going to practice a single leg bench squat. So you're going to come to almost a complete rest on the bench. So single leg, balance on one leg, sit down slow, shift your weight forward, stand back up. Once you've mastered this movement, then you can hold some resistance and perform this movement. Good. Obviously, again, same thing on the other side. I know we're going through a lot of exercises, and if you aren't familiar or not sure where to start, we actually have a free 5-minute thigh workout that you can download right now. It's underneath this video. There's a link at the top. It's pinned. Click that link and you're going to be able to download a free 5-minute thigh workout to get you started. Moving right along to the good morning. So grab your dumbbell. You're going to place this behind the head. Now be careful on this one, because if you do have a tight lower back, you might just want to start with body weight first. Actually, let me show you what that looks like first before we add resistance. Take the hands, put it behind the head. Very similar to a stiff leg deadlift. You're going to slightly bend both knees. You're going to keep the chest open, and you're going to hinge at the waist. Lean forward as best as you can until you start feeling it back in here, and also your glutes and your lower back. Stand back up. So this is a definite hamstring burner. Take your time, and then once you start familiarizing yourself with that, then you can add the resistance to your hands behind the head. Go down to your level of comfort. Stand back up. Perfect. Moving right into the step up. Now this one is kind of like I call it like a step up negative, or a negative step up. A lot of people abuse this exercise, and I'm gonna show you how most people abuse it. So a lot of people think a step up is pretty dynamic. In other words, they're pushing way too hard up off the floor. They're doing something like this. Okay? As you can see, I'm down and propelling myself forward. However, this is how I want you to do this particular exercise. You're going to start up. You're going to lower your leg down, tap the floor, push through the bench. So we're focusing on the lowering and then pushing, stepping up. I'll show you the other leg. So down slow. This is building knee stability, ankle stability, but it's also isolating that top front leg to get the most out of this exercise. And if you want to hold some resistance in your hands, that's great. You can do that. So now a side step up, a little different. Going to hit more of the inner thighs here. This one is more like a traditional step up. So as you can see, I'm parallel with the bench. Top leg is stabilized here. Now I'm going to shift my weight and balance, and then slowly lower all the way down and repeat. take your time with this. This one's a little more tricky than just your forward step up. The Bulgarian split squat or the split lunge, however you want to call it. This is a great exercise, again, for the glutes, the thighs. Personal favorite of mine. So you're still going to use the bench. This one's a little bit more complicated to start. So master this movement before you add resistance. You're going to take one big step forward away from the bench. Back leg goes up on the edge of the bench. Start with the tall spine. Hands by your side. Lunge down with a slight forward lean. I'm not rounding. But as you lunge down, the body's going to have a tendency to lean forward just a little bit. That's fine. That front knee is allowed to go past the toes. Right there. Good. Come all the way back up. And if you were to hold resistance, it could be 2 dumbbells on both sides. Well, really 1 dumbbell on each side. Good, right there. Slow and controlled. Try to get down deep into this exercise to really get good range of motion in this movement. Perfect. That's a good one. Definitely, it's going to hit those legs pretty hard. All right, moving into lateral lunge. Can't forget about those adductors, the neglected muscle complex of the leg. So lateral lunge, you're going to make a little bit of space. You're going to lunge outward, keeping those feet parallel to start. Shift your weight. And then as you get to a point where you're comfortable, you're going to step back to neutral, into that parallel position again, and repeat. Take your time with this, because as runners are notorious for having tight inner thighs, just because they're so forward, linear focused, that these muscles are commonly restricted and excessively tight. So you definitely need to take your time. If you want to use this as more of a stretch than anything, that's fine. Step into it. Obviously, we do the same thing on the other leg. If you're going to hold resistance, you can hold dumbbells here. You can hold a dumbbell right here. Keep the chest up, slow and controlled. I've said that a bunch in this video. Slow and controlled, take your time, learn the movement. We don't want you to get injured, because if you get injured, you're going to be out on the sideline from running, and that's the last thing that we want you to have. We want you to stay in the game as long as possible. So take your time through these movements, and I'm telling you, you're going to feel pretty good when you go out for your next run. Last 2 exercises, we got a glute bridge, another great glute exercise, and then a single leg glute bridge. Glute bridge is right here. Head and shoulders flat. Tuck your tailbone back a little bit. Feet hip width apart. When you're ready, hips go up. Squeeze the glutes at the top, relax at the bottom. If you're going to hold resistance, you can hold the dumbbell right here. You might be able to do a higher repetitions on this one compared to most of the other exercises you just saw in this video. You can almost burn out on this particular movement. High reps, 20, 30 reps at a time. And then last but definitely not least is a single leg glute bridge right here. Hips up, down. This one's a lot more challenging than the double glute bridge, but this one is definitely worth the struggle. Same thing on the other side. Right there. And that completes the 13 essential leg strengthening exercises for runners. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I know you found at least one of these exercises helpful, and hopefully you're going to apply all of these to your leg strengthening routine. Now, if you really like this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First, subscribe to our channel so you can be part of our team here at Criticalbench, but also click that notification bell so you get that alert every time we upload a video, and we sure do a great job at uploading videos. And also, while you're down underneath this video, subscribing, hit that link at the top that's pinned in the comment section. That's going to give you access to downloading that free 5-minute thigh workout that you can use on your next leg day. And again, while you're down there, why don't you hit that thumbs up, let us know you like this video, and maybe share it with somebody you know That's it. Thanks for watching. Coach Brian here with Critical Bench. We'll see you in the next video.